Hey, I'm ElusiveKev Mystical. Welcome back to Monster Energy Supercross 2 for the final time in career. Has Nando Alfonso achieved what he's needed to? He's won the 250 crown, now he's won the 450 crown. And he begins his final week with some training. So what shall we do then? Could we go all the way back to basic or do some intermediates? Which really sticks out? I know the reflexes are not very good. There's nothing I can really do with that though, because the reflexes are just not good, unfortunately. So maybe we'll try and complete cornering speed, I think is the one we can do. As there's nothing else you can really earn, is there? Or shall we just get reflexes up for one final time? Could Nando Alfonso do some reflexes? Why not? Let's go all the way back to intermediate layout. Actually, let's go back to basic layout maybe. No, we have to get 3 stars. Let's go back to intermediate then. So all he has to do is do this in under 1.2 seconds. That's not good. I get the feeling where this is going. Oh my god, it's just stuck. Do I not rev it all? Or do I hold the clutch in more? Let's hold the clutch for more maybe. Oh, there we go. Are you kidding? And they're like 3 stars. Get out of here. We've figured it out a bit. Nah, we didn't figure it out at all, really. As he ends with some promo with 4 posing. They've got the new 450 champ to pose with their product. That's not too bad, as Nando gets all the rewards as well. And so at least we were aiming to get everything halfway with the skills. At least you almost got there with the reflexes. And finally, me today to meet the fans. Now he's got... Is that the same fan again? I thought I have more than one fan by now, Nando. What is going on here? And as it's a final event, let's show off qualifying, shall we? Around the circuit, I remember Nando was pretty good round. As I'm not sure if I'll show you Jeff Emmett and Ralph Sheen, because once again they're just a bit useless. Well, Ralph Sheen is and Jeff Emmett not much of an addition really. I don't find them, again, it's just a milestone thing where they're not really kind of interacting with the events. They seem like it, no doubt. They're presenting and doing all the things, but they're not actually, it's just repeated. It's not like the F1 games, for instance, who may have repeated lines, but it sounds like they actually watched the race. I know driver of the race is almost always the same thing. There's always the guy kind of made up the most places really most of the time. That's a bit wide, Nando. Oh, he didn't even get the triple. Pretty poor qualifying effort. We might do 2 laps here. So yeah, get a milestone, just improve commentary. If you're going to include them, just make it all kind of shiny and official, more looking like, just have them actually talk like they're acting like the race. Like, oh, we saw, I don't know, Marquez doing well this race, but we'll give rider of the day to Dovi, or for instance, something like that, which actually makes it sound like they're interacting with the race rather than what they have at the moment, which is just intro and saying here are the results. Aren't they pretty? As well, once again hitting that inside tough block. Nando a bit all over the place, but this Las Vegas stage is pretty nice. I actually prefer this layout compared to the previous one. A bit more fast and flowing, not as tedious. I remember there was a very tight section near the end of that. Like, you don't have a jump like that on the old layout. Definitely out for this one. So Nando getting away again next to the tough blocks. Oh, nailed that final section much quicker. We'll take that. Smiskin's at the top with 108.1, just ahead of Tamag, Anderson, Brayton, Barsha. Western, then Baggett, Celia second back in 8th. The finish ahead of Brock Q rounds out the top 10 of the Chad. I'm sure Dean Wilson, Joshua Grant, Cooper Webb. Nando down in 16th, 2.6 seconds back ahead of Alex Ray. Benny Boss, Henry Miller, and Carl Connor rounds out the top 20. Then you got Miles Giannetti rounding out top 30. Todd Bannister in last on his Kawasaki, 5.3 seconds back. So let's see how the first heat weight goes. There's Nando revving up then. On the side of Michael, I believe that is. And the 918. To get underway for a 6 minutes. Yes, we've gone back for the final race to the full realistic length of 6 minutes plus a lap. And then for the main event, back the good old 20 minutes plus a lap. Nando's got a decent start, and he was Michael. He's battling for the lead with Adam, and looks like he's taking it as Malcolm Stewart just jumping over the top of Nando. Not having that. So they get a superb run, splits the riders. As it's frantic on this opening lap in Vegas. Hopefully have more of the crease tight announcement for more action like this. Oh, Nando, no! Get going. No, I actually said get going, Nando, not just fall over like an absolute pleb. He gets to run over the jump. He's all the way down to 17th, up to 30th though with a jump. As he's behind, just ahead actually of Justin Brayton. And Brandon goes around the outside of Western. Now he's got the golden arrow in front. Whoa, Matthew! What was that? Took out Nando. Turned to the green arrow, hasn't he? What the hell was that? As we go on to the second lap, I was a bit shocked. The golden arrow shooting a bit all over the place there, and just took Nando out. Not going to be a stablemate for this outing then, as Nando down to 15th. Then he was marching towards the top 10 in those qualifying places. Well, that's gone out the window slightly this lap. We know how good he is round it. Absolutely crushed it in the 250s. So almost gets in the back of Western there. And easy triples that. He sneaks by Matthew back into the top 10. Right at the tail of Tomac and Justin Brayton as well. There's all a bit slow in front from Logan. So now just shoves it down the inside up to a 113.6 and back into the transfer spots. Panic over. Back up to 6th. He's battling Malcolm Stewart for the top 5. Wasn't he doing that? No opening that. Got Groundhog Day here as we approach the halfway mark of this race. It's all over the thick stuff. Nando loses out. Logan easily by. That's what I'm seeing notice over the thick stuff. They're so much easier for them. I'm not sure it's because we're playing on no assist basically, and they have assists. Again, that's something you see in the wet as well, being all over the place. We are. I know the wet surface does affect them, which is pretty cool. It's all down in front. Here's Logan. There's all Nando. You've messed it up, mate. No, he is into the top 5 all over Brock. Oh, he's getting past Brock, past the KTM. Is he over the final jump? Just so much more confident to speed. Even does a 111.6 despite some mistakes as well. He's trying to catch up to Adam and Michael for 3rd and 2nd. Who's leading then? That's all sliding wide. And the reason as well for these races being a bit longer is just to talk about Supercross 2. Here's the final event after all, the final race of Korea that we're going to be doing. And so we've already talked about the commentator, talked about how good Vegas is, and in general how good as... What was that from Brock? Now he's taking out Nando. That's 2 of them now. 3rd one, you're all out of here. There's Nando, gets elbows with Weston, just slows him down. That's a Malcolm Stewart bite. As he gets elbows with Weston again. It's like, he's not finished, Nando. He's had one bite of the cherry, he wants another. Been a bit greedy there. It pays off. Back up to 7th, behind Logan and Brock. He's going to the final corner, down the inside of Brock. Shoves into the side. He's going to the penultimate lap, I believe. He's got Justin Brayton in front in 4th, so he's still got Adam in 3rd and Michael in 2nd. Still don't know who's leading though. They're just so much quicker through there. It's like they have another gear which we don't. But then we have that in areas as well. So overall, the balancing with our opponents, it's... Some tracks it's okay, other tracks it's not okay. But I would say that, once again, it is a bit easy. Like, this is the most difficult it is. I've made quite a few mistakes. It's all Brock down. And we're challenging for podium in this sprint race. Oh, these 4 top 5ers. Oh, down the inside of Justin Brayton. Give him the elbows. Easy bite. So the final jump. So you do have actually to the goal. It's Cole Seeley who's the lead on his Honda. An amazing job. Got a bit of a gap on 2nd and 3rd as well. So yeah, that's something that maybe needs to improve. Just introduce the slider, like you've done with MotoGP. It seems to have fixed those difficulty issues with that game. Apart from when it gets released, and then you have to up everything after like a month or 2 once the game's been released. You've done that the last couple editions, Milestone. Do not get it wrong next edition, because it is just annoying, frankly. And it should not be happening. I can understand for 18 because it's the first game on a new engine, but for 19 as well, exactly the same. What the hell? What gives? Nando over the jump. Oh, stick the landing, Nando. Down the inside of Michael, back up to 2nd. Cole's way in front though. He's like 7 seconds in front, gonna guess. Oh, 3.8, that's all. It was more than that. So yeah, that's something that needs to improve the balance with the opponents. In the wet, it's a bit all over the place as well. I just find the wet riding all over the place if you just talk about physics in general. Like, very difficult to ride, which is good. As Nando just shoves Michael wide, get the elbows out. And if it's in general just not as fun as the first Supercross, I'm not enjoying this as much, but it's still a fun game. It's still up there. It's kind of the best series that Milestone do. Supercross series much better than their XGP series. My God. But that's gone in a direction, the opposite direction of this series. That's going for more realism, and it's just not doing it well. This is not as much, but it's with this game, it's taken a step towards that. Has 2nd place, main event, but it's still got the fun handling from the first Supercross, so it's not anywhere near realistic, but it wants to shift that way, it feels like. But it's still, it's kind of a midpoint at the moment. Like, it's most personified by In the Burns, where you just, if you climb high, you're not actually launching off the corner, you're just climbing high rather than you actually using that as an alternative line like you could in the first Supercross game. That's why maybe it's a bit too much in the first game, but you could have just powered that down. That's all you needed to do. You didn't need to make it like you have this washing effect as you go high into a burn. Some of the bigger ones you can perhaps just about get away with it. You carry the speed into the corner and then you get a good launch off it, but most of them it just does not work, the burns, unfortunately. I'm launching off them, unlike Nando in that first race. Yeah, he had a couple of mistakes, but after 7 laps, he's 8.3 seconds behind Seeley. So we're actually close with 7 seconds. And then Michael in for on his Kawasaki. There's 3 different manufacturers in the top 3. Always I've seen that. But it's a couple of Hondas, 3 Hondas in the top 5, just in ahead of Adam. Adam dropped back. He's just ahead of Brock Trickle's KTM. We've got Logan, Malcolm Short on his Suzuki, and Benny Bloss on his KTM making it through. Eli Tomic having to go to the last chance to qualify by a couple of tenths. Along with Brandon, Cole Cunningham, Weston, Joshua Grant, who's anonymous in that race in 14th. There's Kawasaki Harmon on the Yamaha, Pully, Golden Arrow, Todd, Miles, and Telvin as well. So, for the final time then, can Nando Alfonso win the main event to crown his championship leader?
Las Vegas is a city well known for crowning champions. Hi everybody and welcome to Vegas. Ralph Shaheen and Jeff Emig live from Sam Boyd Stadium for Monster Energy AMA Supercross, an FIM World Championship. Jeff, what can we expect from this evening's race?
Well, Ralph, we know our riders very well. They will certainly not deny us a big show worthy of this stadium.
All right, Jeff, it's time to drop the gate and go racing. The crowd is into it tonight. That will definitely get these riders pumped up as they wait for the gate drop.
So here we go then, Nando alongside Tomac, who has made it through. And he's alongside Mike on the legend Chad Reed as we get underway for 20 minutes plus a lap. Here in Las Vegas, and a poor start from Nando. Look at everyone getting in front. Oh, he hits a tough block on the inside, trying to dive down the inside. Does not work out. He's got Cooper Webb alongside. And Cole Seeley. Chad Reed in front as Nando pushes through for top 5. Just ahead of the heat winner. And Nando shoving it down the inside of Reed and Tomac. And he's got Muskin in front. So they'll have the KTM to take advantage, but he's dropped back behind the Kawasaki, and Nando now leads. That's a frantic half, that frantic opening in, and oh, Tomac goes wide behind. Messi and his KTM then in second, is he? No, he's trying to take the lead, and so is Tomac. He's shoved through. Elbows out at dawn here. Ramon Kawasaki winning. Here comes Jason Ans on his Husqvarna. We're getting all of the championship contenders up here. One final ride as Nando with a massive jump gets all over the KTM, but it's the Kawasaki who leads at the end of the opening lap. As we go over the jump down the inside of Muskin on Nando. It's the last race of the season, he doesn't care. Vince Freeze rounds out the top 5 as well. There's all Muskin down the inside, and now Nando's going to struggle for this section, just loses a second over that. Let's look at Tomac getting away in the lead. Nando sliding it, jumping it, landing it just about. God, he loves this fast section. Oh, he hits the tough block, gets away with it. So we might as well continue talking about the visits then. They have changed it over the whoop section as well, the visits. Like the whoops are actually much bigger now, which is nice to see. Still not as big as they perhaps should be around a couple of tracks. Oh, Tomac down goes Nando. I was going to say Tomac down the order, but Nando has just gone face planting. Doesn't even care. He rounds out the top ahead of Henry Miller as we've got Brock in 7th. Oh no, he's what? Why is he down again? I don't understand that one. Was that exactly the same where he's braking and he gets taken out and he's taken down Justin? Oh, now Joshua Grant's getting involved. Red Hood. As Vince Fresh sneaks by into 9th. Got Benny behind as well as Nando's really pushing. Freeze wide there, but he holds on, does Vince. Nando riding with anger after a couple of sloppy mistakes. Shouldn't be making again. He's punching Vince right. Vince is taking none of his bullshit though. From Nando, like your elbows are sharp, but mate, mine are just as sharp as no goes down. Who's that? That's not Vince. That's someone else. There's oh no, Nando. Get it turned. There's a bit of a train here, 4th, 5th.
Got Brock behind, Cooper Webb, Henry Miller's down to 8th now. Now they're trying to go down the inside of Miller. They started as friends at the beginning of the season. Obviously that has changed. There's now down the inside of Grant trying to go past Adam as well. Oh, and Adam having none of it. Slides wide. Nando got the inside line. Trying to push Adam wide. Adam's done none of it. Gets his elbows out like, mate, you're not pushing me into the tough blocks. Henry Miller trying to take advantage of this, get back up into 7th. And he does. Just about. As we were talking about physics, then just all hell broke loose. But now Henry Miller trying to nick at Adam. Loses out. And now Nando trying to go down the inside, outside of Adam. Hence which corner we're talking about. But over the whip section, yeah, you actually have to use the weight transfer a bit more, which is good. Oh, so you notice the braking's a bit tougher. Like you can actually dip the bike into the dirt there. And also you're saying our rider as well. It's not really part of the physics, but just interacting. So you got really low there. The bike weight, which is pretty cool. As Vince Freeze battling for top 5. And they're about to try and take that away. He does a 110. Hello, Nando. You've come to party. So yeah, you got to be careful a bit more on braking. And I don't really change the rail of ridden. I'm not really using the rear brake. I actually probably used it a bit less because the bike kind of, it sort of digs in a bit more onto the top. So can you make it turn a bit more on the brakes? So hello, Henry Miller. So yeah, it hasn't really changed too much to this, I would say, overall. Kind of just little things. There's old Nando down. He striked himself. 3 strikes, you're out of here, Nando. Go home. You're actually rubbish, okay? That's your 3rd full. No more. He's already battled his way back up the 6th. Ridiculous. Only cost him a couple of seconds that fall as well, despite striking himself. Now you managed 7-10 split and then be right back up immediately. And so yeah, you do ride a bit differently in the wet as well. Like that's perhaps the biggest change physics wise. They said it is much harder now. Like you just can't land. You can't case the joint. You know, whatever you do, you lose so much momentum. You use literal seconds. Like you can't be shocking in the wet. There's much more of a difference and difficulty with the wet weather riding compared to dry weather riding, which is good. Doesn't mean it's fun. Like it's frustrating as hell. It's probably early episodes of this career show it off. It can be incredibly annoying. But it is good to see. Change and improvements. So overall physics, minor changes, improvements, refinements, everything. It's 109.7 for Nando. He really does want to come back and win this. So yeah, brakes just a bit more annoying. Be a bit more careful with that. Bikes just slides like hell around the corners as well. Like you saw, there's a bit more of a limit to the sliding, but it's still, that's the main way you're going to be riding it. Like sliding around corners if you can. Keeping that throttle in and balancing that throttle. Which is apparently not the way you're meant to be riding. Like you see actually them in real life as well on Supercross. Actually try and ride it nice and smooth. I just ride smooth lines and change it as the surface, you know, ruts up. And you've got to develop new lines so the race goes on. That's one thing which is really disappointing with Supercross, and Supercross 2 especially, is the track deformation. It's just top layer shit. It's just eyeball candy. It's not actually really happening, is it? Like, I can ride the same lines I can every lap, and the track doesn't really change. It's disappointing. Considering they made a big fuss of this system for MXGP, you thought, oh, with Supercross as well, you know that should be a thing. Obviously not. It's not really a thing in MXGP either. It's the same problem. Boast about this track deformation. Like, yeah, it does surface change. It's maybe the odd area which has the deformation. But it's more prominent in MXGP3 than in any other game since then. Like, actually develop that system or don't boast about it at all. It's the same as the air physics for MXGP Pro. You did nothing, Milestone. Like, it changed slightly. So I kind of lied when they said did nothing, but it changed so minimally, it did not deserve to be the main change from MXGP3 to MXGP Pro. It was false advertising, basically. And MXGP Pro was more disappointing than MXGP3, frankly. It was a step back in the series. They need to step their shit forward for MXGP 2019. And that's the same way I feel like with Pro, I feel with Supercross 2. But maybe handing wise, because it's in that mid state, it's wants to be realistic, but it wants to retain the fun. That's the same problem you have with MXGP Pro handling compared to MXGP3, which is a bit more just fun and arcadey. Yeah, they made a step towards realism, especially from MXGP2. And that handling, like, it's night and day the difference. And in MXGP2 also, you don't have that track surface on the top layer, you know, from the Unreal Engine. As we're in the second half of the race as well. I've probably talked about physics enough, haven't I? So yeah, it's just disappointing overall. Track deformation and the way that that's meant to interfere with the physics, and it just does not at all with the picture and the race. But the tracks overall, every track again has been lovely recreations. Like, once again, Milestone did a top job, I believe. Like, presentation as well with the intros is nice. Podiums less so. Well, it's just nice they're there. Again, I wish there could be more than like 5 phrases for Ralph Sheen to say over them. So I think we've heard all of them after like 1 or 2 seasons, like all the phrases you can say. Like that section there as well, just to show the change in physics, I had to use a bit of throttle to kind of bunny hop over the second part, or kind of hop over that jump, which I've been failing a few times, but most of the time I've been nailing, as Tomac very slow there. So that signifies the little change in the physics. I probably wouldn't have been able to do that as well in the first Supercross. So, hello, Cole Seeley. Nando's here. You know what that means. As he pushes Seeley into the top blocks, Nando. Gives not a single iota. And he still holds 6 Seeley ahead of Joshua Grove. What the hell? How is that possible? After he's just been turned into a tough block by Nando. So yeah, all the tracks are nice. Like same chords as I would have said from the first Supercross. Also, less issues with the tough blocks as well. They sorted that out. I remember that being a bit of an issue at the beginning, but they've patched that. And the tough blocks are actually reasonable, especially in career. Like online, I remember that being a big issue. So Tomac, get out of the way. One final dance with his devil, maybe, for Nando this season. With Tomac. As we approach, obviously we are in the final third of the race. There's a good battle going on for the podium as well between Vince Friese and whoever's in second. Oh, and looks like he's dropped back slightly. He's got Blake Baggett up to 6th now. The only one he really hasn't tussled with, front runner Nando. Maybe the KTM man can catch up once these two start the tango. Or waltz, or just elbow each other in the face. I'm not sure what that dart dance is called. What the fuck are you doing, Nando? That was the stupidest crash you've done this season. You left it till last. It should be your last crash of the season. So you've left your stupidest crash till last. Where you just drive into the post on the inside. It's get out of here, tough blocks. Oh, for God's sake, tough blocks. Why do I talk about you and then you're like, oh, he heard, he's talking about us. Let's just interfere with the race. Be absolute dickheads. As Muskin leads ahead of Anderson and then Vince Fries. So yeah, tough blocks are nice. They're not annoying and just get in the way as we've just ridden into them, but what I mean is they're not having glitches that get in the way. They're nice. In Supercross still I find now. There's been patches. Grant, get out of it. Grant, you're being sent to the tough block realm, okay? It's not my law, it's Nando's law. That's all I can do is we're in the last 5 minutes now. There we go, put in a bit more throttle. So we caught you out there, Grant. Thought you could make a move. Oh, there's a jump afterwards. You forgot about that, didn't you? So let's actually talk about racing the opponents then. That's kind of the main component of career. And no real improvement, no real difference. They race you harder somehow. Like if you hit them, they remember that. They're like, somehow he's on a 109.1 now, and I don't know how he's managed to pull that out of his arse. Doesn't really help though, it's just pulled a second gap behind, that's about it really. Hasn't really made him catch up to the top 4. So yeah, that's nice that they kind of remember and do race you harder. So that's one thing I have noticed, but overall they haven't really changed them at all. Like they just couldn't be asked to do anything. Like that leads into the difficulty issues as well. Like actually bother to do stuff, something milestone. For the next one, okay. If there is a next one, I please do hope there is a next one. And then into career mode itself, it's just the exact same. I just wish you could join the teams. So just having your own team here with the sponsor, which are just... Sponsor challenge seems to be a bit more variety and sponsor contract length from what I remember. But it's exactly the same. Same with XGP games. I just wish they did more with it. Like, it's just not really a career mode component, I would say, in career mode, apart from what they have had. It is the training. Training's nice. I wish I could see more the improvements that apparently training brings. Like, I can't tell if the rider is better because I've just gotten better or because they are better after the training. Plus, some of the rewards for achieving the 10 and 20 stuff, they make no sense. Like, you improve your brake and somehow your cornering speed's better. Like, I don't get that. Maybe it makes sense because you brake less or brake better. I guess that's what they're going for, but in context of the game where cornering speed is one of the things you have to do to improve, that makes no sense. Of course, he's back up to sit ahead of Blake Baggett. So yeah, I just wish there was a bit more in career mode. And I said that you could just join official teams. That would just be lovely over the MotoGP games. As well as have the option of your own team like this as normal, like, that'd just be nice. Because I want to ride alongside Tomac and smash his face in. You know, I don't want to just be this kind of independent rider. From what I can see in real life, this is kind of unrealistic. It's what happens to an independent rider. He doesn't have major backing or support. Like, at least introduce like a difficulty curve, maybe. Why is he down there? God's sake, Nando, you're actually catching him in front, and you're just like, no, I'm just going to be an idiot. Just clip a tough block. It's not like you've got just 2 laps to do this to get onto the podium. What an absolute bellend. Thank God this is over. This rider, man. The ego on him. Way too high. Way goddamn too high. Yeah, I just wish they did more with career modes, basically. Like they do with MotoGP. But they got similar mechanics of the sponsorship. From what I remember when you had your own team, it just worked better in MotoGP. It does not work in this. Because you're also developing the bike. You don't really need to develop the bike in this. Like, I haven't developed the bike at all in the motocross or Supercross games, to be honest. Because there's no need to with the difficulty of the opponents. Maybe once you sort out the difficulty, then it forces me to do that, and maybe that opens up the game a bit more. Maybe do that milestone. Finally, graphics. Yeah, we get to see the mud a bit more on the riders. That's nice. I don't know how the back of them is so damn clean at the end of the race. No, we can still see the 98 and chicken on the back. And as I said, it's all visual, kind of this rutting and stuff, it feels like. It doesn't actually change it. Like I wish it did. It doesn't. Like, you do have more distinct lines, it sees, you can see, but still you can just ride in the middle of all the lanes. Like, it just does not develop distinct lanes, the riding. As Tomac back down to 4th. Vince Freeze now is going to finish in the lonely 5th, it looks like. That's disappointing, as Michigan's going to win ahead of Anderson. You've got Joshua Grant in 7th. And no one's going to get that amazingly. You know, it's like, so, yeah, overall Supercross 2 not as good as the first Supercross I find, just because it's not as fun and they haven't improved a lot. They've added things like the training, but again, it's just confusing how much that's improved stuff, a bit like the riding physics and some of the graphical stuff as well. And that's the same with the rider graphical updates as well. Like, you sometimes see them tucking in and sticking out the foot. It's like nice. Like little additions as well. And then we've got the other game modes as well. I haven't really checked out too much online, so I can't say if it's better than the first Supercross, but the first Supercross is abysmal online, so it could only get better, I hope. And then we have the track editor, which I haven't really messed around with too much. I can't say if that, again, if that's an improvement on the track from the first game, which I remember pretty good. Just needed a few more things added. Hopefully they've been added. In this one has, as I said, Muskin wins by 4.3 seconds after 18 laps and over 21 minutes ahead of Anderson and is as far. And then look at the Honda of Idris ending up on the podium ahead of Eli Tomac on his Kawasaki. And the Suzuki of Nando Alfonso, the top 5 with 5 different manufacturers. Beautiful to see. It's got Cole Seeley, Blake Baggett, Joshua Grant, Benny Bloss. Great top 10 ahead of Henry Miller, then Brock down in 11th, ahead of Cooper Webb, Justin Brayton in 13th in the end after being sent to the tough block realm. As then Dean Wilson is as far, and Michael down in 15th after a good start, Weston, Justin Barsha, Chad Reed, Adam, Carl Cunningham, Logan in 21st, and Malcolm Stewart in last as Todd misses out on the main event. Alex Ray in last. So overall in the championship then, Nando wins by 21 points ahead of Muskin, who's 9 points ahead of Tomac. And then we have Grant, just 2 points ahead of Jason Anderson, and Brock ahead of Blake Baggett, Justin Brayton, Chad Reed, and Cole Seeley. Sneaks into the top 10 of Justin Barsha. So this is the result in the final race. Then you've got Dean Wilson, Vince Reese up to 13, takes his podium by a single point ahead of Cooper Webb, and Weston Benny after a consistent season in 16th. Malcolm Stewart, well, consistent second half of the season especially. The next Ray, Theodore, Adam in the top 20 as well. Henry up to 22nd, Carl Conan with his top 10 finish. Mike up to 25th as well. Brandon, Golden Arrow and Logan up to, down to 28. Bryce up to 29th ahead of Harmon. You've got Scotty up to 32nd. Tevin up to 33rd as well as Parker Anthony goes for down 4. Austin goes down a couple. Up 3 places. Todd Basta ahead of Miles Daniel, who goes up a place as well as David Purdy. And Joshua Greco rounds out the top 40 just ahead of Colton. And then we've got Randy Lindsay, Felix Joseph, and Patrick Elkins who led the score.
You have to put it all on the line to win this title. He is the Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Champ. I'm Ralph Shaheen. We'll see you next season.
Hopefully you do, Ralph. Hopefully we do. As that is the end of Nando Alfonso's ride to the top in Supercross. It was bumpy, especially it was summed up in this race. It was bumpy, it was all over the place. But he had the pace. He got himself together, he got the results, and he's got the first place once again. As all know, his contract with Force ended, and congrats, you've won this season in the 450 class. Well done if not the MX layout by completing the season in 450 class in career mode. Now you can access directly from the compound and start the available game modes. So once again, Nando could ride again. And that's our time of Supercross 2 over for the time being in career mode at least. And as I just to wrap up on final thoughts then about the game. Customization's pretty good, like you can earn stuff. I won't say too much about the cosmetic DLC as I'm not a big fan of microtransactions. I wish that you could actually earn that with all the leveling stuff. Like you earn all these points to put your level up. Doesn't mean all too much in the context game. By making it so you can earn all of that and make it to buy all this cosmetic stuff, it makes it actually worth something in the game instead of just making us forced to pay money for all of this DLC. That's what I would like to see. It's something that was in previous games as well. I can't remember off the top of my head which games they had that in now. I might think of like Forza, where you could do it that way, but again, they've just made it microtransactions as well. Maybe. I was thinking of RPGs as well, where you can earn like different, like I remember Red Dead Redemption, where you did challenges and then you earn these suits. You have this as well in Supercross 2, which is pretty cool to see. Like I've earned, like I'm winning the 250 and 4, all of the classes, 250 East, 250 West, and the 450 class. I've now earned some new suits, and yeah, customizing the rider is pretty decent as well. Again, I wish you could, if I just go through everything, just to highlight this, I wish you could actually paint all of this stuff like you can now do in MotoGP. Maybe they introduced that into motocross or into Supercross as well, where you can paint all this. You can got all these butt patches. Maybe you can design your own butt patch like you can design with delivery of the MotoGP bike. So I hope to see all of this added like you did with the compound. Like that was DLC for the first game. Now they've added it for this game. And they've added a different compound as well, which I've yet to try out. I haven't tried out any of the DLC. I haven't bought any of it. It's 50% off now in the summer sale. I might just buy it and kind of revisit them for you. And then, yeah, I just wish there's more customization, basically. I just wish there was more stuff. Like, we got these celebrations, as you can see. And look, you can actually earn them with the credits as well. Like, why can't this be the same for all of the clothes items? Like, some of the things you just have to buy. And they probably just had it in the next game as part of the game, and then they'll sell you some more items as DLC, and then add that into the next game. And that seems to be the pattern with these games, where they've had something as DLC for like this game, and then they had it as the norm in the next game. So yeah, I wish you could do it with the credits, or as I said, with the leveling up with all those points that you earn. Let's get the salt out, shall we? There you go, that's our celebration. But I do like they had additional celebrations in the showtime as well at the end of the race, so that's pretty nice. And that's what I can say about Supercross 2. Like, there's some nice additions, but overall, it's probably a step back, actually, from Supercross. It's a bit like the MXGP for the MXGP Pro, where there's some nice additions to Supercross 2, but I feel like the handling's taken a step back. I feel like career mode hasn't progressed at all. I'm not sure about track editor or multiplayer. Multiplayer can only get better, but from what I've seen, it's kind of at times similar. So yeah, with multiplayer, just make it dedicated servers like MotoGP, which seems to improve massively with that being from MotoGP 19. Then track editor was pretty damn good anyway, so hopefully, you know, that is pretty good as well. And that, again, track editor has been added to MXGP 2019 as well. So again, it's something that's kind of transferred between the two games. And so yeah, they just need to make career mode a bit more, basically. Kind of just put a bit more on the line. And the compound as well, I haven't really tried it out too much, but it's a nice addition. I got not into the compound stuff really, I'm just here to race. That's what I do. That's like Nando Alfonso did as well. So yeah, overall it's a decent game. Like, I'm really loving these Supercross games compared to almost anything else Milestone puts out apart from the Ride series. So yeah, it's probably my second favourite kind of series from them, or annual series from them. But yeah, I just wish there was a bit more, and then controls and everything is as you would expect. Like, optimization again is beautiful. Like, it runs, I got quite an old PC now, it's around 5 years old, and it runs like a dream. I haven't really had too much stutters, only when it's been raining and there's quite a lot of weather. Again, you get that odd stutters, a bit like with the MotoGP games, and it's of course MotoGP games, just something I still haven't figured out yet to get it running perfectly smoothly in the wet. But again, it's not too bad. It only happens very rarely in this game. It's not as bad as the MotoGP games, at least. So yeah, overall, decent game. Just wish there was more than these nice little additions. Hopefully there's big additions if there's a Supercross 3 coming out, and hopefully see those big additions as well in MXGP. I forget off the top of my head, but they've added a couple other stuff as well in MXGP 2019, so hopefully we'll see that in Supercross 3, and as I said, more additions and more enhancements, especially to career mode. As I've been a career mode player, and that is our career mode over with Supercross 2. But I hope you enjoyed the ride. So for watching, and I'll see you next time.